Okay. Okay. Let's create a folder called as custom alerts. Let's open it in VS Code and let's try to create main.tf file. Try to create main.tf file and then try to create Terraform file for that. Main.tf. Let's try to write the configuration file. Let's start with provider. First of all, what provider we want it. We want AWS provider, right? AWS provider. In region, let's check region as, let's take simple region like AP South 1. We have VPC, right? So we don't need to create VPC again. So we can fetch the data from whatever is there already. For that we can use data resource AWS VPC. Then let's create a name for it. Existing VPC existing. I'm naming it as VPC existing as resource. Uh, let's create filter. Then let's create name for the filter. Name. We have to give tag and name. Tag name and values. We have to give values name. We have to give the name of the VPC here. Kind VPC. VPC is created now. It will go and fetch the VPC, and then let's try to fetch the data subnet also now. Data AWS subnet public. Filter, again you have to filter it. Using filter you have to give the name of the resource. Name. Then values. In values you have to give the name of the resource. You have named a kind public subnet, right? Subnet 1. So this is the naming convention we gave it for public subnet, and then later we can create security group also now. Data. I'm using data to, because I'm using data to fetch the data from my account. So it will go and fetch the data from my account rather than creating it new. Security group. Name, let's give 𝐭𝐥𝐞𝐚. VPC ID also now here, because it will be attached to VPC, right? VPC ID. Data AWS existing VPC. dot id you have to give, because it will fetch, it will reference the id of the VPC. Okay, once this is done, let's create the instance now. Resource, because we are not fetching any instance from existing, right? We are creating new resource. That's why we are giving resource rather than giving data. AWS instance kind is the name of the instance I want to give kind. AMI will be like I have already have an AMI which I'll be using that. I have an AMI so with me, so instance type T2 medium. Okay, and then let's give key name. Key name we have to give because key name is very important. After creation of the instance, we have to connect to the instance, right? So for that we need key name. Key name would be T2 medium. Subnet, I mean, what subnet I need to create? Subnet ID is data. Public subnet dot ID you have to give, because if you reference using ID of the subnet. VPC security group, we need to give security group ID, we have to keep. Data kind dot ID, because that's the security group which I want to create in. And then I want to create user data also, user data for the installation of packages, and also for that I'll also give data file kind dot sh. Let's create one file called as kind.sh, because I'll be installing every package using this, and I'll be attaching it to the server which while creating. I'll adding more details into it after completion of this file. And then after this, let's try to add root device, because we are extending our root device, right? So I have to add some more details here. Root block device. Mm, Volume size 30 GB. I'm increasing it to. Volume type GP3, because that's the one it gets created, right? While creating. Delete on termination true, because it should terminate, right? It should delete while termination. And then after this we'll have to add tags also. Let's add tags for our node. Tags name kind. Now last thing is you have to add one output also, right? Output file also. Output kind public IP description. The public IP address of the kind server. Value we have to give value also. AWS instance ID. AWS instance kind public IP. Yeah. So this file is created now. If we apply this file, a node will be created using our already created subnets and VPC. So let's try to create sh file, shell file for our for our for our node. Let's try to add some details here. We need first of all we need is Docker, right? Sudo snap install Docker classic. It will install snap sudo Docker in our node. Try to install snap install 𝐶TL classic snap install helm classic. We'll try to install helm also now. So I want this commands to run while creation of the node. Like I'm adding it as a user data, right? So and then after this, let's try to grep try to get these things. And after that, you have to install manifest file, right? Manifest file we can install it using cat uf kind config.yml and then you need these two commands. Let's change the permission for our this file also. Sudo chown change owner kind config.yml and then sudo chown chmod first of all user kind. That's all. If we attach this thing to this node, it will go and create all these things in while creation of the node itself. It will create everything. Let's initialize this and try to run Terraform apply command so that it creates the necessary things. Let's try to initialize first. Try to grab the packages. I try to grab the repository, AWS repository. Provider. Try to get the provider and try to install it. This file will be attached to this thing, right? Kind.sh. Yeah. Everything is perfect. Now let's create the we have started creating the instance also. Now it is creating the provider right now. Once provider is created, let's try to create the instance and try to see if everything is working fine as expected. has created a folder, right? It has initialized. Let's try to create the instance now. Auto approve. Let's see if it gets created or not. And also it should go and add these things into our server. Let's wait for it to finish. Oh, it is giving some error. Okay, let me check. I didn't change anything. Let's see if it is working fine or not. I see all the data is perfectly fine, so it should work fine. It's created instance. Let's try to connect to the instance and see if it's getting connected or not. It has given the public IP, so let's try to connect an instance and see. It would require some time for it to install, so let's wait for it. Let's wait for it. I'm sorry, I don't see any CPU requirement is been done right now. I don't see anything getting installed because of this. Because of I'm not added update package at the top. Because of that, nothing is getting installed because of that. So let's delete the instance and try to recreate it again. This I've added right now. So after adding this, it is getting installed. I tried to do it manually, so I tried to check if it is working fine or not. So after adding that thing, it started going up. Now I didn't add because of this nothing, not a single command has run. Maybe that it might have run, but it might have not updated anything or created anything. So I've deleted that thing. Let's recreate it again. Let's recreate the instance again and try to see if it is working fine or not. It should work fine this time because after packaging, I'm updating package first. And later point of time, I'm trying to install Docker and then try to install Helm and kubectl and kind everything. So let's see. Let's see now. Let's create the instance again and let's try to see if it is working fine or not. Let's create the instance and try to connect and see. Now if you see, this is now CPU requirement is going up. So my maybe it is installing everything. Let it get installed and see. Let's see if everything is working fine or not. Let's see if Docker is there. Docker is still not there. It will be there in some time. Docker is installed, so it will install everything now and try to build a cluster for me. Docker is here, so Docker is getting installed. That means all the necessary other packages also will get installed immediately after this. After that, let's try to wait and see if it is getting created, or if our cluster is getting created or not. Let's try to wait and see. Let's see if kind is 𝐶 is there or not. It's still not there. Helm, do we have Helm? Helm also is still not there. So maybe it is upgrading the packages or not. So I've given a command to upgrade the package also, right? It is upgrading the packages. Let's wait for it to complete and then let's come back. Okay, I have now cluster is created. Now let's see if we have everything running. So I have everything running in the cluster. Okay, so we have installed this cluster using Terraform user data. So I pass user data to Terraform node, and then while creation of the cluster, creation of the node itself. So it took this configuration from the kind.sh file which I gave, from this file which I gave. This file which has given it has taken some time for the cluster to be created, because they said there are a lot of steps to be done, right? It upgrades the packages and try to install Helm and try to install kubectl and then try to install kind, and then using this configuration file it creates a cluster. So I created the cluster using Terraform, using one command like Terraform apply. It created a cluster. It took some time, but it created a cluster now. So I have cluster with me. Let's install Prometheus stack into this cluster and try to see if we are getting the alerts or not. Try to see what are the default alerts which are there in the cluster, and try to override those default alerts with the custom alerts which I want to create. Let's get into the video of creating Prometheus stack and exposing Prometheus application, Prometheus Alertmanager and Grafana on particular ports which I gave, right? So these ports. So I'll be exposing this application on Prometheus Grafana Alertmanager on these ports. So let's try to do that. Let's try to install Prometheus chart and then try to override these values in values.yaml file and try to do it. Let's try to do it. Let's get into that.